this ruling that he gave today was really an unusual document. It's an incredible judicial butt kicking what he delivered to the SEC today, and it reads like a political document, almost like a manifesto. And I think it's, part of that is because of the political climate that we're seeing with Occupy Wall Street. Maybe on some level he felt emboldened to go a little bit extra with this ruling because of this movement, or maybe he just felt that that this was in the air right now and the country was ready for this.
Is it too simplistic to say that he gave a legal version of, listen, SEC, we know you're in bed with all these firms that you're supposed to regulate and all these industries you're supposed to regulate? You should at least do a better job of making it look like you're not in bed with them when the lights go on.
No, that's not too simplistic. That's exactly what he did in this ruling. He came out basically and said that the SEC and Wall Street have been in a wink-wink, nudge-nudge arrangement for years, whereby the SEC gives these people slap on the wrist fines and protects these companies from civil liability. And in exchange, these companies get to walk free, and they don't have to admit to any wrongdoing, which means they can't be sued in the future. It's really it's an under-the-table kind of subterranean arrangement, which he just blew a huge hole in today.
What would the reaction be at the SEC? Would they be sort of like, well, yeah, great, we'll show you on appeal, or would this knock some sense into them, or is it another? Could they in fact draw something about what's in the wind based on the judge's ruling?
I think there's going to be a little bit of that. I think there's going to be a little bit of panic because, again, this is they've been going along for years, giving these phony, crappy settlements, dealing them out without any kind of resistance from judges anywhere. Judges have been part of this picture for years. They've been signing off on these deals, and for Judge Rakoff not only to reject the settlement, but to reject it in such an aggressive fashion with this very strong rebuke in this ruling is very sobering for the SEC, I'm sure. It remains to be seen whether the SEC and other regulators are going to engage in judge shopping, which is typically what happens when you have a strong judge. He somehow gets avoided in the future, and we'll just have to wait and see with that.
Well, is there any momentum that you sense toward more meaningful prosecutions by the SEC, or is there any other means by which these banks can be regulated if the SEC is not doing its job as the judge suggested?
Well, this is the implicit instruction of this ruling, which is do not come back into my courtroom unless you have a real prosecution next time. In other words, I am not going to sign off on a settlement that does not establish the facts of the case, which is what they've been doing. They've been covering up these crimes by agreeing to these settlements without full disclosure, and they at least can't come into his courtroom anymore without doing that the next time around. So hopefully we'll see a real prosecution next time.
Do you have any idea of the percentages, how many times the SEC cuts a deal rather than even cuts a deal that exposes what the company did?
Oh, I've looked just in the last 3 years. I mean, just looking at the settlements that the SEC is engaged in, that they 100% of the cases, they come with that provision that says that these companies do not have to disclose, the full facts, and they don't have to admit to wrongdoing. I mean, that's not occasional. That's every single time. It's a cost of doing business for these companies. They recognize that every now and then they're going to get dragged into court. They're going to have to give a little bit of money to somebody, and then they get to walk away and keep doing it.